Hello everybody and welcome back to Tlatoani, where last episode we started on getting some farming going out over here, and we've still got a lot of work to do on this, to be sure. We're waiting on this Chinampa to mature. These others will be matured very soon, but we're waiting on this one to mature, for sure, and we're working on this out over here. Now, we have a fair amount of clay in stock right now. That's great. We're very happy about that. We're currently exporting stone and obsidian to the capital. We're not particularly happy about that, so that's definitely noted. And we know we were able to get a lot of cotton production out of 6 farms in the last city, but I think we're going to have much lower fertility here, and we'll see if we get decent cotton production. We'll see if we get cotton production at all, to be honest. So we're currently cruising down this way. We need to build a road here. And these Chinampas are probably something that I want to allow construction of at this point. So we'll get going on those. We're just waiting on this Chinampa to put in a porter yard, with the idea being right here. So that terrain will stop. Wait a second. It's going to be here, isn't it? It is. Right. We need to clear this area here as well. So we'll get that going. Those Chinampas will be underway, and this is, of course, expensive for us because we have to import clay. So that's understood. This up over here, we want to have be fruit trees. So we want a fruit tree here that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the rest of this up over here is all going to be maize. We'll get that underway, and that will be our first completed farm up over here. We cannot grow chili here, so it's going to be this. We could definitely potentially export nopal. I don't know what that sells for, so there's that. But megwee is definitely something that we can grow. We've got lots of room to do that in, and we might want to consider putting up a bit of a megwee farm, like up over here. This border yard can be set to accept it, like this. And then we can do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that. And then like this. Ooh, that runs right into that tree. I was hoping to avoid that. So I think we'd need to move this down by 1 here and have it connect like that instead. So then this would be a farmer's hut here. And the idea behind this is we're going to grow potentially some nopal as well. I don't really know what we want to do with this. So I think we're going to do like half and half. So we'll do 16 and 16, like that. We'll see how that goes. I don't know what to do with it. We'll find out. We can maybe export it, or we can craft it into something, I'm sure. So we'll see how that goes. If we want this to be full megwee, we can make it be full megwee later. And then this can also be accepting nopal for now. So that is here. Is this a food? It's categorized under food. It's a food! Okay. Well, we can't get chili, so we may as well have this be accepting nopal. It does reach this guy. So that's a food. Fascinating. So we've got our desert farms up over here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this would go right here. That doesn't really fit in there all that well. So we can do something out over here, like that. And then this would, of course, be connecting ideally in over here, like this. But I'm not sure how far this needs to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's right here. Okay. So like that. So if we had these be half and half, we'd be fine probably for now with 4. So it would be this size in theory, like this. Yeah, that's going to remove a couple of these trees. I'm okay with that for now. So, yeah, I'm thinking half and half up over here. So we'd put farmers' huts here, here, and here. Although I'm not going to do it quite like that. So this is then, of course, going to be Nopal. And then that's going to go like that. And then it's going to be Megui up over here. These grow in desert conditions, and we'll just get that going. So that will be some amount of variety. We'll almost certainly need more Megui than this, but that's okay. So 16, sure, that's fine. And then something like that. And then we'll put another farmer's hut in over here. I'm assuming this guy is going to reach all of those. That is true. And this guy should as well. Yes, we'll need some services up over here, but that's fine. I kind of wish that this farmer's hut was up here now. We could move it. This is all Megui. So, yeah, let's just move it. And then this over here, of course, is also going to be Megui and Nopal. So that'll help us with our food variety. That seems good for the time being. I'm just waiting for these to be removed because I want to move this farmer's hut now. There's one gone. 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So we'll just move that. Hi, pause menu. We'll just move that right on up over here. That shouldn't be very difficult to move. So that should get done fairly quickly. Down over this way, we are waiting on these Chinampas to finish up. That seems fine for now. Some of our pending structures are impossible to reach. Yeah, that's obvious. If we moved this guy here, or maybe here, it would reach everything. Okay, enemies are on the march. That's understood. So we're waiting for this farmer's hut to be removed, and this is going to be Megui then. So we've got enemies on the way, and we'll deal with them here in a moment. Okay, so we'll get all of that dealt with. Excellent. This out over here, these Chinampas are at 90%. They have arrived, and I intended to go to the invasion point. Where are they? Here. Okay, we've got some time. Sounds good. And this is on accepts for Nopal. It could theoretically be accepts up here, but for the time being, I think I'll leave it like this. Okay, so down over this direction, I want to build a porter yard right here. We've been working on Chinampaing this for a while. So that looks good. These guys are on their way in. There's a lot of them. That's a bit spooky. So we're going to need to boost our might. I think that's very, very clear. We've got these 2 trading posts here. I think that we should probably consider putting a barracks right up over here. It's kind of awkwardly sized. We would need to move this road out and around like that, but I think that's okay. And then we can think about putting a noble compound to help out with that, or maybe even a royal palace. But it requires a scenic neighborhood for the royal palace. I think we'll hold off on that for now, and we can put in the noble compound about right here where it can access the services that we've pre-created. Yeah, let's do that. So we're going to need to rally our army, and for now, I'm going to rally them down over here. And we'll get them brought in, but I definitely think that we should get started on getting a barracks going here and a noble compound. So that's fine for now. Now, this is a lot of troops. So I think it's very, very clear that we need to get some barracks rolling here. That said, these guys are all wounded. So there is that. Well, this is inauspicious. Very inauspicious indeed. So that didn't go very well. We could potentially rally more, though, from our barracks. We don't really have any captains here, though. Okay. So we're going to have our townsfolk raid. Or rather, have our townsfolk fight. And this means that we're going to definitely be taking some town damage here. This isn't terribly surprising. So I want our troops to be down here for now. I'd love to rally more troops, but we're just apparently not ready with these barracks yet. That's noted. So some of our civilians will fight these. Some. And we'll get them taken out eventually. We can see what these were, and we can start to rebuild it, so that's fine. Okay, they're now fleeing, so that looks good. We'll disband this, and disband this, and disband this. In the next fight, we'll be in a much better position. Is this not actually a flag here? Maybe not. Okay, so this was a sweeper. We need to get that replaced ASAP. This was common home and a well dipper. The well dipper is a very high priority. And then I believe all of these were just common homes. So that's not that bad in terms of the damage that we took. This was a sentry post. Okay, fair enough. So we can put in a sentry post like that, and that's everything repaired, in theory. So that looks good. We'll have to get that done. It'll take some time. And then, of course, up over here, this well dipper doesn't reach. So we need to have some water here. So we absolutely do want to put a well dipper in up over here, probably. Yeah, that'll do. I'm assuming the sweeper and sentry post also do not reach. So we'll have these go in right about there and there. So that'll be our basic level of services for these farmers' huts. We also are not reached by this market, so we may wish to put in another small market, like up over here perhaps, or over here. I think here is good, because we may want to expand out this direction, and that can be fed by this granary. So that looks good. Now, as far as all of this goes, we are chinamping this area. We definitely need some more maize coming in, that's for sure. So that's all good for now, and we're working on getting these structures rebuilt. And here comes an enemy. Okay, and he's charging off. Sounds good. So I do think a wall here makes sense. We could certainly think about putting that up. So if we wanted to put in a wall here, we do a gatehouse about right here or so. And then I'd just do road kind of like that. And then the wall itself would come about like this. And then about like that. We could put towers back here. They don't really seem to do much, to be honest. But we could do that. Something like this. So that is definitely something that we can do. No doubt about it. I would like to have that done. So that's from that direction. This direction, it's going to be a whole lot spicier. That's for sure. And it's going to be, I think a wall down here makes the most sense down this way. So if we were to put the wall in, say, right here, this is a lake tile. So that cannot be traversed. So right here would be where we'd want to start the wall. So that would end up being about like this, facing this direction. And then it would come out kind of like this. And then it would have like a tower right about here. But the wall itself would continue to progress about like that. And we probably would want to have a gatehouse in this. Somewhere about there or so. And then we could put in some towers about here and about, well, here, and maybe instead of being here, we'd have this tower be about here. I want this to be a bit set back from the actual wall tile, which I think it's set back too much. Or maybe this one is actually inset into the wall. I don't want it inset into the wall. So we'll set it back from the actual wall, and there we go. Something like that. So that will defend us in this direction. And then we can do a very similar thing up over here, where our wall can go in somewhere around here-ish. But I'd want it to connect to, like, this lake tile or somewhere out here, maybe. The problem is that we can't build it on swamp, right? But you can walk through swamp. So that becomes a bit of an issue for sure. We could definitely build it here and have it come out something like this, although this would be a very extensive wall. So it would be something kind of like even a little further north than that. I'd like it to be like up here, allowing us access to the outcrops over here, right? So this would end up being about here. And then it would go in over this way. And then maybe we could Chinampa our way back in over here. No, I hate it. Okay, so instead, I'm just going to take the wall up over this direction, like that. Take all of that out. And then we'll put the gatehouse in on, say, this side here. And then we'll do a tower about here, a tower about here, a tower about here, and maybe a tower about here. Something like that. Okay, now obviously we don't have roads, and we're still vulnerable potentially to attack out this way, or even coming around like this. And the question is, how far can we actually bring these walls in over here? The answer is right here. This is the furthest out that we can go. Okay. The good news is we have access to stone. So this should be absolutely fine. We can put in a tower about like this, somewhere around here, trying not to disturb the forest too much. And then have it be about like that. Okay. Theoretically, something like this for our walls. So then I'd like to put in roads, of course, and these roads are going to just be something kind of like that, and then we'd need to run a road all the way down here, which would be mildly awkward. But this road could then, you know, make its way out over this way. I'd like it to head out kind of like this, and then just kind of head all the way out to the edge over here, like that. This one out over here, we would want to build our road up this direction. So I think we're going to take this as kind of our main thoroughfare, and we'd have that come out over this way. And then it would just go straight out to the edge, like that. And then I would like to run a bit of road down this way, just to be able to service our walls a little bit there. Out over here, this road would be about like that. And then would come down and connect. I think I would have it connect about like this. And then it would just go up and around like that. And then come on down like so. Okay, so there's those roads completed, but we still need to connect up this. So that can come down about like that and then make its way up. And then connect in one more. Connect in about like that. Okay, that'll do for now. We may change those around at some point, but that will be a significant boost for us in theory. Our might is already at 60 of 80, and that's going to just continue to increase. So that looks good for now. Our food is still probably a bit on the spicy side, so I definitely want to get an additional maize farm here, and this set of Chinampas should absolutely be underway at this time. So let's get that going. Let's put in a farmer's hut right here, and that, of course, is going to be maize. Well, actually, I'm just going to do fruit trees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then that is the rest of this going to be maize. Perfect. So this is majoritively maize. And the fertility here is now good. Fertility here is currently none. And the irrigation is perfect. We'll see if that fertility changes. Hopefully it does. And we'll get these Chinampas made because we have a lot more farms to make. That's for sure. So this barracks is underway. But I want to stop exporting obsidian. We're going to do that, and this is accepting obsidian here, because what we want to do is we want to start making weapons. So we're going to do blade nappers, and I'm going to put in, say, we want to be able to reach this here. I'm going to put them here for right now. I'm just going to do 3 for the moment, and that'll be fine. And then this guy is going to be accepting weapons. It does not, unfortunately, deliver it to this barracks. Okay. We can cram a porter stop in right up over here, and that'll be able to supply both this fortress and this barracks, if need be. And this is going to be getting weapons and armor. So we'll get that underway. Now, we don't have any armor at this point. Is there anybody who exports salt? Let's see here. Exported clay and maize, stone, timber, and obsidian. Don't care about any of those. And nothing at all. Okay, so we're going to have to get the salt from the capital. That's unfortunate, but here we are. Of course, we're going to need cotton for armorers, right? Yes. So that means that we're going to need to have at least one farm producing cotton buds. To that end, I want to get some chinampas going here. So we're going to need to have canals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right here. And I want that to be right there. Okay. All of this area is going to be chinampa'd. Every single bit of it. That's a lot of chinampas. And that's understood. We'll get to work on that. It's going to take some time. We need to get some additional farmland built up here. I want to get up to 3 levels of farm out here, and we'll start expanding it out this way, maybe down here as well. But we've got a lot of space carved out here. This should be sufficient space for us to complete all of our objectives here. We actually don't need that high of a population. We need our culture and our prosperity to come up some, but only 40. This is actually not too bad on the stats. So that looks good for now. And of course, we need maize. We'll get there. We're working on producing as much maize as we can. So the fertility here is good. This is now reporting good fertility. Okay. That's fantastic. But we do need to get some farmers rolling here. There we go. Now we've got the farmers, and we'll start to get those fields going. So we have some maize, and we have some nopal coming in here. So we should theoretically be distributing that and eating on some of that. We've got Megui being picked up over here, and we do absolutely want to do things with that. What things do we want to do with it? Well, we want to have some amount, and we don't need much right now, but we want to have some amount of brewery. So for now, I just want to place this somewhere where it can reach both markets. They're not turning green, which is telling me that we actually want it up over here. I'm going to do 2 breweries, and this border yard is going to need to accept pulque. There we go. But we also are going to want cloth weavers. And I think 2 of those should be sufficient for now. I'm going to put 1 here, and I'm going to put 1 here. So that's okay. And then this border yard can be accepting cloth. And these are going to need to have a source of Megui. So we'll be getting Megui here. Okay, that'll work for now. So we'll get that underway, and that'll be fine. Hopefully this flag will go away when I restart the game here in a moment. That would be, you know, awfully nice. For now, though, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we will continue to expand. Our food is still a major, major issue at this time. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.